Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ plus story for today. I'm Jameer Baptiste, and let's queer up politics. The United States of Trump says no February Black History Month and no June Pride. Will corporate America follow him? As Black History Month kicked off on February 1st, Democratic lawmakers celebrated the achievements of Black Americans, even as they criticized former President Donald Trump's opposition to diversity, equity, and inclusion (DUI) programs. Trump, who recognizes February as Black History Month, continues his push to end DEI initiatives. Critics see these programs as crucial for fighting systematic racism, while opponents agree they were favor race over merits. Trump's first executive order aimed to dismantle DEI programs across the federal government, including in the Department of Defense, which has now paused observance of Black History Month, Pride Month, and other cultural events. As Trump's DEI ban spreads, major companies like Meta, Walmart, and Amazon have scaled back their DEI efforts. Heads of many such companies were also seen during the inauguration of Trump on January 20th. While these big players are bending their knees in front of Trump 2.0 administration, companies like Costco stand firm in their commitment to diversity. Will corporate America follow Trump's lead, or will they continue to champion inclusivity? Only time will tell. Yeah, so this is quite interesting, and the biggest part of why it's so interesting to me is that the DEI programs aren't just black, aren't just for the black and brown community, aren't just for the poor community. So I think the misunderstanding of what DEI really represents is one of the casualties that will occur because of people's ignorance on it.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been hired as a DEL or affirmative action.
Right. But those who, are you hired as a DEI? Do you know if you're hired under affirmative action and things of that nature? But I even want to speak to that in terms of what it means to understand history. These things just don't come about because you want a leg up, or you need this, that, and the other, and you want to be pushed forward ahead of people. This is all about a system that has oppressed and repressed the black and brown community for so many times, even other people of color and things of that nature. So it's not about necessarily having affirmative action to get above anybody else. It's saying you guys weren't taking these people into consideration.
Right.
And now you have the opportunity to do so, where you didn't before. It wouldn't have become an issue if you didn't make it an issue, And the fact that people are looking at DEI programming as just for black and brown individuals, you're sadly mistaken. Veterans are DEI programming. Right. Asians are DEI, this is all about inclusivity and including
and even
diversity.
Women.
Those are
women.
The beneficiaries of that.
Right.
Women.
And also people with disabilities as well.
Disabilities, it's more than just black
it's
and
all
brown.
of that.
So playing on people's racist beliefs is what is tearing this down to the point where you're not even realizing the benefit that it is for everyone.
Correct.
The benefit that it is for people outside of the black and brown community.
Well, there was an affirmative action at the beginning. We were just included in it like in the past 30 or 40 years.
Right.
Because it was an affirmative action, but it just wasn't for us.
Right.
Because we couldn't get in.
It's just crazy to think that this administration has been able to manipulate people on such a grand scale that they are turning back the clock of time. It is amazing. But not surprising to me, because when I see these things like on TV about cults and stuff like that, it's just like, this is this is indicative of that. This is a prime example of it. And it's just like, where do we go from here other than continuing to move forward in our advocacy to make sure that the damage is very minimal and that we can repair what is done when there's an opportunity to do so.
And for those big corporate companies that are taking side with Trump, and we have to go back to, like you say, in times like in the 60s, we have to go to their pockets. And
Right.
stop supporting
We're watching.
them.
Right.
Let them know that
Yeah.
we're watching.
Right.
We're woke. We woke.
Yeah.
Right.
We watching.
Right, we're watching, but I would say on the flip side of that, like look at Costco's who stood firm, and then was it Al Sharpton that brought 100 people to a Costco's to actually show their gratitude and their respect for their resolve, and then now the administration is going after them. So it's like big shark, right?
Right.
But there are other organizations, companies, mom and pop locations that just don't have the means to be able to take on that fight. But then that speaks to how much is your resolve? How willing are you to stand fast knowing that you're on the right side of history, Or is it, hey, because just like you said, money talks, right? So we're going to show you that if you're limiting your DEI programs or wiping them out completely, we don't need to shop or patronize your establishment, right? But on the other end, if you're not doing it and the federal government comes after you, what does that say for you to sustain that hit and still be viable as an organization or company? Can you sustain a hit from the federal government, from the DOJ? I believe it would be the Department of Justice that would come after you and do lawsuits against you and this and that. Do you have the money power and the staying power to withstand that? So it's a very tricky situation, but
That's when you question That's when you question the civil rights.
Right, but look at the civil rights. They even attacked that too, But then the companies that were named at the top of this story were companies that don't speak to that understanding. Like, hey, Walmart, we know you can handle the fight. You have made billions of dollars off of
Hundreds
our
of
back,
billions.
off of Americans' back, off of civilization's back. So you can handle that fight. So yeah, do you deserve to not be patronized and for us not to go there if you just wipe out your programs based on the administration? Yeah. But it all, I guess, is relative to those that are dealing in the fight and those that we deem worthy and able to withstand. Disney is another one that was like, to the state government here with Ron DeSantis, that I'm not going to back down. But not many do that. Not many do that. So we have
Disney has the money,
right,
and the magic.
and don't let them get Harry Potter on you.
You got to realize most of these companies, Walmart, Tesla, they get our tax dollars to make their money.
Right.
Especially Tesla. You heard about that.
Right. Like what's that story that most of all the full-time or a good percentage, I don't know the exact number of the full-time employees at Walmart are on federal assistance?
Walmart too.
Right. That's what I meant, Walmart.
SNAP benefits.
Right.
So pay them, since you don't want the DEI, go ahead and give them some more money so they don't have to get on the SNAP.
Right.
And then we'll be all right. But we are paying for most of that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, as taxpayers.
Right. So it's all interesting. And once you know these things, you're able to have a better understanding, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is a big LGBTQ plus story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.